In Vancouver, rain is a constant companion, but where does it all go? As cities grow, managing stormwater is a challenge. Rain gardens help by capturing and purifying rainwater. Experts Joanna Ashworth and Julie McManus will explain how they work, why they matter, and their role in Vancouver's future.
Traditionally, cities have been built with what we would refer to as gray infrastructure. A lot of pipes that convey water into our local creeks. A lot of hard surfaces. When you look around a city, most of it's impervious. Water can't get through concrete, pavement. The water just sits on top. There's no place for it to go. So when we think about the water cycle, it relies on surfaces where you can actually penetrate and water can go through. But with the gray infrastructure, there's no place for water to go.
So a rain garden is a very unique garden that captures and cleans rainwater, helping to kind of recreate the natural water cycle. So rain gardens tend to be more of like a bowl shape. So a lot of gardens tend to be more kind of flat at the surface level. Rain gardens instead are more concave, and they allow water to drain into that garden. We often use specialized soils, or we call them engineered soils, that help to retain the different rainwater pollutants that come into the rain gardens and filter them out so that clean water can infiltrate into the ground. When we urbanize our cities, we add buildings and roads, that water cycle changes pretty drastically. So what rain gardens intend to do is recreate that natural water cycle by encouraging more of the water that hits the ground to infiltrate into the groundwater or evapotranspirate using the trees and the plants that are in the rain garden. A lot of people don't realize how polluted our rainwater actually is. As it runs off of hard surfaces, off of roads, how many of those like petrochemicals, microplastics, and things like that, that water encounters, and how all of that does end up in our waterways.
So a rain garden, if it's well placed, can intercept that water, can slow that water down, can filter the water, clean the water, and return it to the system and into the creeks. 100 years ago, this whole area was covered in a forest floor. So it was like a natural, permeable surface. So in 100 years, we've covered 80% of that natural surface. And so we need to kind of find our way back to a more natural way of living in cities. To me, like a rain garden is this kind of very humble but powerful way of getting involved and actually literally getting your hands dirty, doing something meaningful that has a legacy. Sometimes it just takes one person who notices that this is an opportunity, and it'd be great to get something happening.
There's a few different ways people can become more involved with green infrastructure in the city. We do have a program called Seeding Stewardship, which focuses on giving stewardship opportunities around green infrastructure for people. So it focuses on creating groups that support adding biodiversity within our green infrastructure sites. We also have a program in the City of Vancouver called Green Streets, which allows individuals to adopt kind of corner bulges or traffic circles, and actually quite a number of those are rain gardens as well. The future for, I think, green infrastructure in the City of Vancouver is looking really great. We're going to see more and more green infrastructure added throughout the city of Vancouver. We'll see like larger rain gardens, smaller rain gardens. We're going to see more wetlands. Our council recently just approved some key action items from the Healthy Waters Plan, which is kind of a larger citywide plan that looks at how we are going to manage rainwater using both the gray and the green system. And it really advocates for an increase in green infrastructure across the city. So we expect to see green infrastructure kind of grow as the city grows.
If we're going to live in cities, we need to think about regenerative cities. We need to think about how can we have more green and blue in our cities. That's going to make our cities more livable, more beautiful, and more functional in terms of responding to the impacts of climate change. And I think that's the way we're going to want to live in cities, in that kind of harmony with nature and protecting what we have and making it even more resilient in the face of what's coming in the future. So